Tonight, a Queens toddler is recovering after becoming the victim of a random attack.
As CBS 2's Andrea Grimes reports, the violence unfolded while the child was spending the morning with her grandmother. Little Sophia's face is bloodied and bruised. The innocent girl, nearly 3 years old, spent part of the day in the hospital.
Man, listen, man. I'm starting to get tired of y'all Sunmen, man. And I can say it because I'm a Sun man. These other groups, they can't say this stuff, man. They don't have a voice, man. And I know that doesn't jibe with the narrative. But none of these other groups have a voice. Gliders, Hombritos, Tigers, nobody. Nobody. Patels, nobody has a voice out here, man. God, dog, man. I tell you, man, y'all know I usually join me 9:30 on Tuesdays and Fridays, where I can really say what I really want to say, man. On Ock Nation TV. The link is in the description box. 9:30 Tuesdays and Fridays. Ock Nation TV for the live stream. Hit the StreamYard link. Come join the panel. You're all welcome. Everyone's welcome. Yeah, and I say, when is the backlash coming? Y'all I'm speechless, man. This is the second story I'm doing on this in a month. We had the one guy who got arrested, he had 33 prior arrests before he socked the little 4-year-old Hombrito in the face in Times Square. And now we got this one, man. Tuesdays and Fridays, 9:30 p.m. on Ock Nation TV. Link is in the description box.
Investigators say she was randomly attacked while out with her grandmother.
I look, my baby's fall down, go like this. Oh my God.
I can't imagine. Scary.
Yeah.
Maria Samira told us Sophia was sitting in this blue cart as they went to take out the trash before 6:30 this morning here at Robinson Avenue and 45th Street in Flushing. That's when police say, out of nowhere, 31-year-old Chris Elder approached them screaming at Samira, then overturned the cart with Sophia inside.
And if the men in that community want to take this into their own hands, then it's going to be considered something racial. But this ain't considered racial. How is this not considered racial? But if they take this into their own hands, if they usurp the law, that's going to be considered racial. And why is this guy, Chris Elder, why is he not? I mean, he has a mask on, but why is he holding his head high? How do you hold your head high after you do that to a 3-year-old girl, man? And I don't want to hear nothing about mental illness, man, because if a little Sun Team, one of those little super gremlins, as Black Gen Z calls them, one of them gremlins, or Demon Time, was in that cart, he wouldn't have looked at that cart. He would have made a mental note not to be ill in that moment. He would have been able to control whatever impulses, issue he gonna claim he have, or might even have. He would have controlled that impulse in that moment. If it was a little 17 in the back of that cart, man, being pulled, man, with the Pooh Shiesty mask on and the sagging jeans and the hoodie. We wouldn't have none of that. We wouldn't have the screaming. We wouldn't have nothing, man. Trying to tell you, man. So I don't do the mental health. I've been around the sun, man. I've been around the sun men in all elements, man. I've been around them in the hood, on the job, in the trap, on the corner. I've been around them. If it be a shooter in the perimeter, in the perimeter or in the peripheral, that dude who crazy, he find a way to control that. He gonna find a way to control that if it's a shooter in the vicinity. Ain't you crazy? Nah, man, I'm on probation, man. I ain't trying, you know what I'm saying? You lucky I'm on probation. Oh, you on probation now, man. Okay. Yeah, man. Some man know how to control that, man, around certain people, man. Trust me, man. Trust me.
That's when police say out of nowhere, 31-year-old Chris Elder approached them screaming at Samira, then overturned the cart with Sophia inside. Investigators say Elder was quickly arrested and has done this before.
He has a history of unprovoked assaults on strangers, including a 9-year-old and punching a 66-year-old in the head, both on December 11th of last year.
Police say
I really started to dislike these sisters, man. And not like all of them, but, you know, these ones, man, these political ones, man. I'm really starting to dislike them, man. If that guy, the same guy, Chris Elder, got punched by a cop, this sister be in tears, man. That same guy, that same rap sheet, man, got shot by a cop while resisting arrest. Sister be in tears, man. Or holding back tears. Let's put it like she wouldn't cry. She'd be holding back tears. And giving a fiery sermon about, you know, the state of America and calling us all to the table for a conversation. This guy's talking about this guy running around punching 9-year-olds and 3-year-olds and 66-year-olds. And she's standing there like she iced tea or something. But then everybody supposed to care about son woman femicide. When if it happened to a glider woman, he's gonna say glider tears. Well, that ain't none of our business. No son woman was harmed here. But everybody supposed to care about son woman femicide. When it's she the police chief here. And I'm telling you, man, she is not with what it takes to fix this, man. She is not with what it takes to fix this.
they say Elder was quickly arrested and has done this before.
He has a history of unprovoked assaults on strangers, including a 9-year-old and punching a 66-year-old in the head, both on December 11th of last last year.
Police say Elder was released shortly after those December attacks, something Sophia's uncle is worried about happening again. Police confirm Elder has previously violated an order of protection in another case.
¿Qué quita de que venga otra vez acá?
Sophia's uncle told us, quote, "I asked the officer, what's keeping this guy from coming back?" Elder is facing several charges, including assault and reckless endangerment. Right now, he is still in custody.
See, think about this, man. Back 2019, they wouldn't have had to say he was still in custody. It would have been a given. That's how quickly these sisters and these pasty liberals, like this woman right here, pasty liberals just like her, have destroyed this country. They have to now tell you that the guy's still in custody after being previously released for knocking a 66-year-old upside the head and punching a 9-year-old unprovoked. After being released for those and then coming back and ratcheting it up a notch and knocking over a 3-year-old out of a cart, turning the cart upside down with a 3-year-old in it. They have to tell us. It's newsworthy. That's news. Because they wouldn't have had to say that. That's just been a given. It's news that this guy is still in custody. At the moment. Now, he may... This is the day it happened. So, he may be out. But as of the night it happened, he was still in custody. That's newsworthy. Thank you so much, sisters, and thank you so much, pasty liberals, for all your criminal justice reform. You've really made this a better world. Diversity is our strength. Liberalism is our strength. Thank you so much.
Elder is facing several charges, including assault and reckless endangerment. Right now, he is still in custody. Meantime, Sophia's family says physically she'll be okay. In Flushing, Queens, Andrea Grimes, CBS 2 News.
Begin with that breaking news tonight. Good evening. I'm Jessica Moore. Police are on the hunt for a gunman accused of targeting the city's most vulnerable. Tonight, Mayor Adams is asking the city to help track down the killer. CBS 2's Kieran Dillon is live in Gramercy Park with disturbing details.
Whenever you hear about vulnerable people, man, being harmed, you already know who did it, man. Like, that's crazy. Because I've been hearing them going around calling Sunmen a vulnerable population. And they're vulnerable to mass incarceration. Like, it's just like they just being locked up for no reason. Vulnerable to poverty. Like, yeah, because, you know, to no fault of their own. Nothing that they did has caused that. Vulnerable to racism. Because, you know, that's what's happening in America. You know, bunch of glacier gliders going around running up on Sunmen with static, man. Right? Bunch of gliders just going around just like, hey, man, bunch of gliders get together. Hey, man, let's go look for some Sunmen and interact with them. Let's go find out. There goes some Sunmen. Let's go over there and, you know, with some bass and some rah-rah stuff, man. That's what's happening, right?
Jessica, police just wrapped up a press conference a short while ago. They say the victims, the two men, were targeted for being homeless and they were ambushed while they were asleep.
2 individuals were shot while sleeping on the streets. Not committing a crime, but sleeping on the streets. A total abandonment and betrayal of trust.
Saturday night, Mayor Eric Adams spoke out after 2 men were shot in Manhattan, allegedly targeted for being homeless.
Video is chilling to see a cold-blooded act of murder.
In one incident around 6 Saturday morning, police say a homeless man who was in a sleeping bag on Lafayette Street was approached by the suspect. He was shot in the head and neck and later died. Meantime, shortly before, in a separate incident, police say a 38-year-old Hispanic man was sleeping on King Street near Varick when he was...
Oh, wow. On Brito, man, Sun Man got an issue with these Hombritos, man. Are they going to mention that these could possibly be racially motivated? We hear anything about a hate crime? Y'all tell me. I'm not paying attention, man. So y'all tell me if you hear anything in any of these stories about possible hate crime, man.
And later died. Meantime, shortly before, in a separate incident, police say a 38-year-old Hispanic man was sleeping on King Street near Varick when he was approached by a stranger before being shot in the right forearm. The victim was taken to the hospital and is now in stable condition.
The victim woke up, made a statement screaming, "What are you doing?" The perpetrator then responded to flee eastbound on King Street.
Police have released these images of the man they want to question in connection to the shootings. For now, the mayor says the city is pooling resources to ensure the homeless are safe on city streets.
Now here's the deal. Could be on Brito. Could be a Sun Man, man. We don't know, man. We ain't, when we see the mugshot, we'll be able to tell, man. Once we get the name and the mugshot, we'll be able to piece it together more. Could be a Sun Brito, man. I'm a air closer to Sun Brito, man. This is Sun Brito, man.
They all matter. And this is what I believe makes this case so horrific. We're going to make sure our officers check on those locations where we know undomiciled or homeless people reside or live on the streets. Although it's cold weather tonight and there's a cold blue, we're going to take extra steps to encourage individuals to go into the shelters for safety reasons.
So right now, officers are canvassing the city to ensure there are no other victims. They're asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers. We're live tonight in Gramercy Park. Karen Dillon, CBS 2 News.
Karen.
We want to get to that news conference we have been promising you. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, we see D.C. Police Chief Robert Conti, as well as the ATF giving us an update on the manhunt for the suspect accused of killing multiple people who are homeless.
Commissioner Sewell, as well as Special Agent Charlie Patterson, who is the director of the Washington Field Office for the ATF. We are in the John A. Wilson building in Washington, D.C. To call on the public's help to identify and locate a suspect in a disturbing series of violent attacks in Washington, D.C. and in New York City. We believe that there are at least 5 separate shootings linked to the same suspect. In all cases, the victims were men experiencing homelessness who were sleeping outside. Tragically, one person in D.C. died of his injuries, and at least one person in New York City has died. Both police departments have released photos of the suspect, and we are working urgently with our federal partners at the ATF to locate the individual and get him into police custody.
Listen, man. Hit one if you remember. Was this 2-3 months ago? I said Sunman was just going to start killing people at random. It might have been even before 2 or 3 months ago. Anyway, I go look at the video I said it in. I go find the video I said it in. But if you're a real Ock Nation, viewer, you remember I said that. I said I could just see it turning because the laws, listen, when you tell criminals that it's okay to commit crime, and if they are caught for a crime and they fight the police, and it's recorded that everyone is going to rally around the criminal and disparage and protest and mock and chide and rebuke the police and render them powerless as far as the public's concerns, public consumption. We're going to neuter the police. If you have the arrest of you during the crime looks violent in any section of the arrest that's recorded, what did you think the criminals from that said group that you've given carte blanche were going to do? And here's the problem, though. Some men doing it now. Soon everybody's going to do it. You have gliders with a little bit higher IQs and hombritos, and they're going to be more difficult to catch because these crimes, these laws you've changed for the Sun Man are changed for everybody. It's not just the Sun Man don't have to pay no bail. Nobody has to pay no bail. It's not just sort of sensitive for Sun Man. It's sort of sensitive for everybody. It's not just we're not going to prosecute these list of crimes for Sun Men. We're not going to prosecute this list of crimes for anybody. That was all because of the Sun Man, but still, what did y'all expect? I told y'all, I distinctly remember talking about this in several videos, as a matter of fact. And now it's here.
We're calling on anyone who has any information to reach out to our tip lines. There's a lot of good detective work that has produced some good images. So we want residents to look at those images and call us. You may call us anonymously by calling 202-727-9099 or texting 50411. We know that this is a scary situation. We know that our unsheltered residents already face a lot of daily dangers, and it is unconscionable that anybody would target this vulnerable population. As we work to locate this subject, we're calling on all of our residents who are unsheltered, both in D.C. and New York City, to seek shelter. In Washington, anyone can request free transportation to a shelter by calling our shelter hotline.
Muriel Bowser speaking there about this this large manhunt, this aggressive manhunt underway to find the man you see right there in that picture who's accused of shooting 5 men who are homeless in D.C. and New York City, leaving 2 of them dead. And again, this is a new picture we're seeing. We haven't seen this clear image for the first time. So if you're away from your TV, try and get a closer look. We know in D.C., most of these incidents happen in early March along New York Avenue as well as 8th Street between 1 and 4 a.m.
And again, we're seeing that image that you just saw on your screen for the first time. That was his face. So someone out there knows this person. Someone out there knows something. Again, this man is accused of shooting 5 homeless men in D.C. and New York.
And let's talk about why they want to find him so quickly, aside from the fact that he's accused of shooting 5 people. In one incident in D.C., he's accused of shooting and stabbing a man and then setting that tent on fire. So clearly, they want to get this man off the street quickly. You can continue listening into this press conference on our WUSA 9 app, and we will have a full wrap-up coming up tonight on the news at 11 o'clock.
Police are also looking for a man they say vandalized more than 100 parking kiosks, mostly in Center City. Well, they say he forced toothpicks into the card reader slots of those machines. The kiosks were damaged as far back as late October.
As Bill and Liz are off tonight, any moment now, New York City Mayor Eric Adams and Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser will hold a joint news conference about the suspect in a shooting spree that targets the homeless.
The gunman is wanted for 5 shootings, the first 3 in Washington and 2 others Saturday in Lower Manhattan. 2 of the people died. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson is in Soho with our lead story. Kimberly.
Well, Sandra, today the NYPD is actively and proactively checking on the homeless, one of the city's most vulnerable populations. This violent crime spree has authorities in 2 cities on high alert, determined to catch this suspect before he strikes again. 1 man, 2 cities, at least 5 shooting victims, 2 fatal.
There was 4 pops, space in between 2. Like pop, pop, space, and then pop, pop.
All homeless. The connection?
That guns have been involved in scenes in New York and D.C., and that they had been matched ballistically.
New video shows the suspect casually strolling down the street March 3rd in Washington, D.C. 1 hour later, police there located his first victim, who did survive. But the violent crime spree was just starting. The gunman shot 2 more men in D.C. One didn't make it. Police found his body in a burning tent. He had been stabbed and shot to death.
The vilification and criminalization of people in deep poverty fuels these sorts of tragedies.
I hate these woke people. God, they're so annoying. No. This son, man, is going around and killing homeless people. That's it. Just like the Sun Man lawyer. Who remembers the lawyer in Miami that was going around and killing homeless people down there a few months ago? This was December. Who remembers that? Handsome guy. Whole life ahead of him, well-dressed. Living an attorney life in the city. And at night, he was going around and killing homeless people. And now she's trying to make it seem like Trump or some people on the right, like, nothing to do with none of that. Do you see who's killing them? It's liberals killing these people. It's people from your voter block, people who historically vote 90 and up +% for your party, woman, that are doing this. It's no vilification of people, homeless people. It's emboldened, entitled killers that you helped make with your laws and your policies. And they're practicing on homeless people. They're just practicing. Soon they'll be coming for you, Miss Lady. This is practice.
The vilification and criminalization of people in deep poverty fuels these sorts of tragedies.
After leaving D.C., the suspect made his way north to New York City, Saturday morning, Howard Street. A man is inside that yellow sleeping bag. Police say that's the suspect, hovering before fatally shooting the victim in his neck and head. It happened at 6 a.m., around 4:30 that afternoon. Abed, who's been on the street for 8 years, checked on the victim.
I said, let me go into this art store here and tell them that the guy by the garage has not awakened and maybe he's dead from frostbite.
That is yet another victim moments after he was shot on King Street. Police in both cities stress they are committed to sharing every investigative path, clue, and piece of evidence. Homeless advocates here at home stress the city must offer people options to the shelter system, such as single occupancy hotel rooms. Abed agrees before another person is killed.
I feel sorry for those people in New York because they just got those people out of those hotels. Because what they were doing in New York is they were... God. In New York, they was just in nice neighborhoods. Commandeering hotels. Like, let's say you live in a neighborhood, you're paying $3,000 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. You know, in a crowded building in New York. You got to, you know what I'm saying? The elevator broke, you got to walk 10 flights. They would take the hotel down the street from you, commandeer it, and make it for homeless people to live in. And you know what happens is during the day, those homeless people, they love the street life. Because that's a lot of these people are not like homeless, but like, a lot of these people want to, they want to live, you know what I mean? It's just a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. They're not like homeless, like, oh, they couldn't possibly work or nothing like that. These people, some of these people love the lifestyle. Now, some of them are homeless because, you know, life happened and got some bad breaks, one bad break after another, and boom, you're homeless. But a lot of them just enjoy living this lifestyle. The outdoorsmen. It's kind of like being an urban outdoorsman. That's what I'm going to start calling them, urban outdoorsmen. So these urban outdoorsmen, hundreds of them just descend on this hotel. That's where they live now, in your neighborhood. And during the day, they're out in the streets hanging out. They're catcalling women. They're panhandling aggressively. They're loitering. They're hanging out. They're using drugs in broad daylight. They're nodding off, and they're doing all the stuff that they do, except now it's in your neighborhood. And those people in New York fought and finally got rid of that stuff, man. And now because of this killer, man, it's probably going to come back. They're probably going to start commandeering hotels again because the city pays these hotels money to. The hotel doesn't lose out. The hotel gets guaranteed rooms booked. Every room's guaranteed to be booked now. Forget Trulia. Huh? Is it? Every room's booked. The homeless with an urban outdoorsman, man. And man, your neighborhood goes down within 12 hours, man. 100, 200 homeless men just in your neighborhood. Boom. Did the drug dealers come? Because the drug dealers come because most of the homeless people, most of the urban outdoorsmen are on some kind of drug. So the drug dealers come down there because it's money there. Now the drug dealers from different neighborhoods, they're all down there. And they're doing their thing and they're bringing their stuff. You know what I mean? Now your neighborhood is the ghetto overnight. Those people fought to get rid of that. They were happy when these restrictions and these pandemic stuff and all this stuff were finally over. And here it comes again. I feel sorry for those people. I really do. That live in those. Wait a second. They asked for this. Never mind. I don't feel sorry for them.
And piece of evidence. Homeless advocates here at home stress the city must offer people options to the shelter system, such as single occupancy hotel rooms. Abed agrees before another person is killed.
You feel like it's getting worse. It looks really like a comic book.
I'm back here live here on Howard Street where the suspect shot and killed one man early Saturday morning. These are handwritten signs, support for the homeless, demanding the city provide safe havens for this population.